a service of CNC Worldwide.
CNC podcasts are a service of CNC News, and they're brought to you by the Greece Chamber of Commerce, providing more than 800 member companies with business solutions since 1984. Ontario County Sheriff Phil Poverow says his investigators have completed their probe into the death of race car driver Kevin Ward Jr. They have turned the results over to Ontario County District Attorney Mike Tantillo. Nobody will comment at this time. Sheriff Poverow says the DA will review the investigation and determine by the end of next week if any charges are warranted against NASCAR star Tony Stewart. Stewart was driving the dirt track car that hit and killed Ward when he ran onto the track in Canandaigua a month ago. Ward apparently blamed Stewart for a collision that caused his car to spin out. He was shouting and running towards Stewart's car when he was struck. A Buffalo Bills fan who fell from the upper deck of Ralph Wilson Stadium and injured another fan below won't serve jail time, but he will put in 100 hours of community service and pay a $1,000 fine. A jury found Robert Hopkins guilty of assault and reckless endangerment in June. Surveillance video showed Hopkins repeatedly sliding down an upper deck railing until the fifth time he fell over backwards. He landed on top of Mark Bratcher about 20 feet below. Bratcher suffered head, neck, and back injuries. Hopkins apologized before his sentencing. A former Geneva man has been sentenced to 107 years in prison after being found guilty of molesting 5 children in Batavia. Sean Vickers was supposed to be babysitting the kids when he abused them. The Genesee County Court sentenced him to 25 years each on 4 of the charges, plus 7 years on the 5th. Police believe Vickers' sex crimes go as far back as 30 years. A day after laying Rochester police officer Darrell Pearson to rest, ceremonies around the Rochester area commemorated another solemn occasion, the anniversary of the 9/11 attacks.
Today, the men and women of the Rochester Fire Department and the Emergency Communications Department take a moment to remember, honor, and celebrate the firefighters, police officers, friends, and family members that lost their lives 13 years ago today in New York, Washington, and Pennsylvania. We also honor the sacrifices that the men and women of our armed forces have made since that day to keep our country safe from harm. You will not be forgotten. All companies, please observe a moment of silence.
That was the call at the moment of the first attack on the Rochester Fire Dispatch Channel. Eastman Music School students played the national anthem at the school doors. Firefighters and police gathered with citizens at Ridge Road in Greece, at Monroe Community College, and at the Irondequoit Town Hall, among others, in remembrance. Rochester Mayor Lovely Warren's office says the city is trying something new starting this weekend to build trust between police and the city neighborhoods they patrol. Starting Saturday, members of the neighborhood clergy will join police officers from time to time on their foot patrols. More than 100 pastors and clergy members have volunteered and have attended training sessions. City Hall says Mayor Warren and Bishop Reginald McGill will kick the program off on Saturday morning, along with Police Chief Michael Simonelli, Pastor Bernice Green, and City Council President Loretta Scott. A spokesman for the family of Larry and Jane Glazer says a memorial service for the Rochester couple will be held Tuesday morning at Temple Brith Kodesh in Brighton. The Glazers were lost at sea last week when their private airplane fell into the Caribbean off the coast of Jamaica. The family is still working on details after what has been a very difficult week for them. Radio hosts Kimberly Ray and Barry Beck are back on Rochester Radio 3 months after they were fired. They're on Clear Channel Media's 95.1 FM. Kimberly and Beck were on the Brother Wease show on 95.1 Thursday morning after the station began promoting their return. Their own show starts at 2, and they'll do an hour-long talk show at night on Wham 1180. Kimberly and Beck were fired from Entercom's 98.9 back in May after some insensitive comments about the city's policy towards transgendered people. The duo later apologized. Your next CNC podcast is whenever you click on one of these pages and catch one. We post updates as necessary. I'm Bud Lowell, CNC News.